I'm Michelle and I'm just about to walk into an Italian mother's kitchen and cook up some lunch with my teammates Louisa and Janelle, and we're going to be using old knowledge but with a modern twist, using modern technology with our Thermomix. So on the menu today, Janelle will be showing her Nonna's Italian eggplant meatballs. Louisa will be doing a fabulous piadina, which is a quick little snack, and then followed it up with some ricotta donuts, and Janelle will round it all off with a coffee McFlurry. So I'm sure that will give you the proper Italian pronunciation. I'm not even going to try that. So come on, let's go inside, and I hope you enjoyed this video of us cooking together.
Hi everyone, my name's Louisa and this is
Janelle.
And we're here today to do an Italian workshop for you guys.
My family, just for a bit of background info, is from Abruzzo and Naples, so I'm half and half.
And my family, we are on both sides from Naples. So my dad was actually born in Italy, in a town in Naples called Turfo. And my mum was born here in Australia, but from parents both born in Italy, migrated here when they were both young. And my nonna is from a little town called Bettilio in Naples, and my nonno is from Benevento. So today we are going to be cooking myself, piadina, and Janelle will be...
So I'll be manually cooking through the Thermomix and showing how that can be converted to the Thermomix, my nonna's polpette di melanzane, which in English translates to eggplant meatballs.
So what makes these eggplant melanzane so special, Janelle?
These are the meal that whenever we had something on any events, anything special, Nonna would always be like, Janelle, what do you want me to bring? Or like, Julian, what do you want me to bring? And we'd always be like, Nonna, make your eggplant meatballs.
So this was the dish.
This is the dish.
Nice.
And they would always be out on the table just to start with, and they would be gone in seconds because everyone would be getting their hands on them.
Yum, can't wait to try them.
Yes, so this is not through Cookie Do. We are doing this manually because Nonna has written out exactly how she does it, and I've now converted this to Thermomix to make my life that little bit easier.
So did you find one similar in Cookie Do, or?
I did actually.
Okay.
The ingredients are very, very similar,
yep,
but they are cooked very differently.
Okay.
And I tried them both ways, and I still prefer my Nonnas.
But it's good to know there's some traditional recipes
that are
also in the Cookie Do.
That's right,
too.
there is. There definitely is, and it's all in Italian, so if you can read Italian, go for gold. If you can't, there is a way we can translate that to English. But what I'm going to start with is grating the cheese. I think I've got about 250, 300 grams here. So I'm going to chuck that all in anyway and chuck that into the Thermomix. So what we're going to do now is set that to 10 seconds and then speed 9. Now the reason I did 10 seconds is because I want it quite fine, because this will then be added to the mixture before we turn them into little meatballs. So that is what it comes out like, which is absolutely perfect. Amazing. I'll tip that back in here, so we'll use that later. So now I'm going to chop the parsley, just to get a little bit more finer. I have washed this. So I'm putting in about a cup of parsley. So I'm going to do this, I'll do this about 5 seconds. Speed 9 again. So that should be nice and chopped. Yeah, and imagine like my nonna or having to chop this up manually with a knife. This is all nice and beautifully and fine. So Nonna uses about 700 grams of eggplant, and what I've done, I've pre-prepared it. So it has the skin off and then diced. She said diced like onions, but that will be enough for the Thermomix to sort of chop it up even further and turn it into the mixture that we need it in. So I'm going to use our scales now. I've got the Varoma sitting up there. It's on 0, and she needs about 700, well, I need about 700 grams. Should be. Oh gosh, I hope. If not, it doesn't matter. Just under, that's fine. That will be plenty. So we've got 667 just there. Now I am going to need about 15 minutes. So what I'm going to do now is move it up into the back. We're going to steam it for 15 minutes. And then once that's nice, the eggplant's beautiful and soft, we're then going to add everything in and make it into a mixture and then fry them up.
What would happen if you left the skin on?
I think taking the skins off tastes so much better. So I think that's why Nonna does it.
Nonnas know best.
That's it. People think they do. So I have weighed that now. I am going to split it over the 2 levels in the varoma just to evenly steam them. So I'll just split it, and then what we're going to do then, I've got a litre of water into the varoma at the back, in the Thermomix at the back. And then we will, that should be enough air to get through. Yep. Okay. And then what we'll do is let that go for 15 minutes, speed 1. So nice and slow.
So how much water have you popped in?
A litre.
A litre of water?
A litre of water. So now that is all set to go for 15 minutes.
Beautiful. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to make the piadinas.
Now, Louisa, when and why do you enjoy making these?
I love piadinas. They are so easy to make. There is no proving time on them. And you'll see in a minute how quick they are to actually whip up and to cook. But it's sometimes nicer to have, it's like a flatbread. It's basically an Italian flatbread. And I enjoy it more because I think sometimes having a big focaccia or a big loaf of bread as a sandwich can be quite heavy. So in Italy, this is actually known as like the skinny person's, meal. Or, if they want to lose weight, like they'll go for piadina instead because obviously it's a lot thinner and it's not your typical real bread. But yeah, it's so easy to quickly whip up. Perfect for like a Saturday, Sunday lunch. Got some friends coming round.
Or even like a light dinner maybe.
Absolutely. Had a heavy lunch and you just want something light to eat. It is really good.
And then just shove it with whatever you want in there later.
Whatever you want to put in it, honestly. I made one a few weeks back with a dessert filling instead.
Oh, yum.
And it was great. So
that would have turned out really nice.
Yeah, let's get started. I'll show you. So this recipe is actually in Italian. I've made it quite a few times now, so I know what the ingredients are that are going into it. A couple easy ways if you want to translate it. You can use Google Translate on your phone. With Cookie Doo, and otherwise there's an app on your phone you can get to which you can hover your phone over the actual screen of the Thermomix and it will translate the words on it for you as well.
Very clever.
Yeah, I need to do that more often sometimes.
Yes.
Beautiful. So we're going to add 250 grams of milk. Now I'm actually using almond milk. Sometimes if you don't want to use normal milk for whatever reason, or you don't have any, or you've got someone who can't have dairy, a lot of recipes can actually be swapped out with almond milk or any other milk that you prefer to use. So this will weigh for me as I'm pouring it in. So we need 250. It's a little bit over.
Just a little bit over.
That'll be fine. Look, the way my nonna cooks, a bit of this, a bit of
that. That's it. There's no measurements with Italian cooking.
So we need 100 grams of lard. And for 1 minute, that's just going to heat up at 300 degrees.
So you've only used a small amount of lard. I'm assuming it doesn't come in that smaller packet. How else can I find a way to use up lard?
Well, the best way is to use your Cookie Doo platform, search lard, and it'll probably give you a good list of different recipes that need lard. And you could find something in there I'm sure you'd want to be able to cook. So we're adding 500 grams of flour. This is 00. So 00 is more designed for breads. It's just the way that the flour's been milled. 2 teaspoons of our yeast, so dry yeast, I'm popping in there. And 10 grams of salt. I'll pop some salt in there. My mum has a Thermomix as well, and most nights that we come over for dinner, family dinner, she literally quickly whipped up a basic bread roll recipe because it's so easy to do. And it's something she never did before she had Thermomix. So it's amazing how much money she's saving on buying bread because we go through bread in their house so frequently. So it's great for whipping up the dough.
Especially for large families.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we're just going to knead. And use this dough function. It means you can make bread so easily, or anything that needs to be kneaded, without having to dirty your benches and your hands and make a mess everywhere. So that 2 minutes of kneading is all done, and we are literally just going to tip that straight out onto my mat. I will show you that first. How lovely that has come together. There you go.
Perfect.
Done. Roll my sleeves up this part. The great thing about this silicone mat with the little circles on it, it gives me a good indication for when I'm going to cut my dough to try and get them as even as possible. So now this recipe says for 8 piadinas. I actually get about 12 when I've done them, but it just depends on how big you want to make them and how thin you're going to roll them out as well. So I prefer mine thinner. I think they cook quicker that way, and they're actually easier to enjoy without being so thick. But if you like them thicker, you can make them thicker. That's the best thing about it. You do it to what suits you. Round shape. Now this dough we'll use for afterwards, so we'll just keep collecting all the offcuts, and that way we can actually get more out of it as well. So
now what do you do with that?
We're going to cook them up. So I'm going to heat the frying pan up and I'll show you how easy they are to cook. Dry frying pan, don't need any oil, and pop it straight on, and you'll see soon as it starts to get warmer it will start to bubble up. So the thinner the piadina is rolled out, the quicker it will cook.
And what would you do for a dessert one?
Well, you could make up some hazelnut spread, so you could easily do that in your Thermomix, and some beautiful strawberries, banana, whatever fruit you'd like on the inside, but yeah, that would be my go-to. Beautiful, so see how that's lovely bubbled? I'm just going to flip that over and let that cook on the other side. And then once that's done, that looks nice to me, I'm literally just going to pop it under a tea towel and let that keep warm while I keep doing the rest. Beautiful, so I've got a fresh cooked piadina there that we nearly lost off the plate.
So what are we going to fill it with, Louisa?
Well, today, so I'm not following the recipe filling suggestions, I'm going to do my own, and that's the best thing about it, you can do whatever you want in it. So I've got baby spinach, I've got some fresh prosciutto, I sauteed this morning some capsicums in Thermomix with some onions and mushrooms.
Lovely.
Yep. They came out lovely, and some fresh mozzarella just sliced up as well.
Gosh, it looks all so good.
I know, right? And all you need to do now is just fold it over, and you've got yourself a beautiful piadina. How's that for lunch?
That looks really good. That looks really, really good.
Yum.
Maybe the nice glass of wine would be good too.
Absolutely, absolutely. Lunch is ready. Let's go find Dad. Dad. Lunch is ready.
Oh wow! Have a look at this.
Enjoy.
Awesome. Oh, I think I have to come inside. I think this deserves a glass of wine.
Right, so we're back to making my nonna's polpette di melanzane. So we've steamed the eggplant, and then what I've done in the meantime is actually drained it. So you want most of the excess water out of the eggplant before you actually make it into its mixture, and then you turn it into the meatballs. So what I've done, what I'm going to do now is chuck everything into the Thermomix. So I'll start with the eggplant, which is going in there. It is going to be quite a wet mixture. It's not going to be, even with the breadcrumbs and the cheese in there, it will still come out quite a wet mixture, but then what we're going to do is fry them. And my nonna always served them cold. So it gave it a bit of time for the mixture to firm up a bit. And then I'll add the eggs. So 4 eggs. All right, so now we're going to add in, I've got my measuring cup here. So nonna only added, she added 1 cup of grated cheese. So get a cup of that. Beautiful. Cup of that. So we did have a bit extra. I might just add a little bit more. For more cheese. You can never have enough cheese. That is exactly right. Now she did 1.5 cups of breadcrumbs, and I've pre-measured this at home. I reckon I added about 2 in here because the mixture is quite. Oh no, it's about right. Pre-cut parsley. And now, so all just chucked into the Thermomix. My nonna, when she does them, she boils the eggplant, so it saves us from having to use our own pots and pans on the stove. It's all done in the Thermomix. Now I'm just going to add a bit of salt and pepper for taste, a bit of pepper, and then we are now going to mix this all together. So I do 30 seconds. speed 3. All right, so that is all done. Scrape as much as I can off the edge. I usually do about 2 to 3 minutes, evenly coated and fried, and then yeah, we'll be able to enjoy some soon.